Hey y'all, it is Stacy with Wilshire Collections again. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. We are going to try this again today. We attempted yesterday, and I'm sure a lot of you know what happened. We're not gonna focus on that because today is a new day, and I'm excited to be here and chat with you guys again. So come on in, tell me hello. I'm gonna get it pulled up over here. Okay, appears to be there, so that's a good first sign. I am here. Y'all are here. You're popping on. Tell me hey whenever you, okay, sorry. Oh my. Okay, hold on, y'all. We got this. Okay. That is out. Hey, y'all. Hey, Sue. Hey, Susan. Hey, Deb. Hey, Trula. Yes. So very thankful, you guys. I feel so lucky. I got my account back today, my Facebook account, my personal account, which is tied to the business account and just all the things. So many people are not that lucky, and apparently this has been happening a lot lately, unfortunately, and some people were able to recover their stuff, some people weren't. So I feel so thankful, y'all. I mean, I just can't tell you the panic that set in yesterday where I thought like one of my biggest fears, losing this page, was happening right in front of my eyes. And so I just can't tell you the relief I feel today for sure. Yay. Hey, Janet and Shirley, Julie. Hello. Y'all come on in, start sprinkling. We'll do Joy Jar again today, and all the things. So y'all just come on in, tell me hey. But yeah, it's just, it was such a relief. And when I woke up this morning, at first I didn't have it. And I was like, it's a lot of stress. And then, anyways, I'm not even going to go into all the specifics, but I was able to basically confirm my identity, prove that that was me and that was my page, and all of that. And I was able to get back in. So really the only thing that I lost, other than probably my sanity, and I probably got some more gray hairs on my head and all of that. Good thing I have a hair appointment tomorrow. But the only thing I lost was the live from yesterday. So if y'all don't know, I was live yesterday on the page telling my story. I was about halfway, or a little more than halfway through it, when the live just pretty much crashed and I lost it. I lost the live. I lost my account for a little bit. Couldn't get logged in and access and all of that. And I mean, I'll be honest, even beyond like the scariness of losing my account and the pay, like not having access to my page and just all of that, I was so bummed about losing that live, y'all, because I was sharing my story. I was opening up. I was sharing things that I had never shared before. It was such a good live. I was enjoying chatting with you guys, and then bam, it was gone. But like I said yesterday, I just think that this means that there were more people that were meant to hear the story. So I hope that people that were here yesterday come back. I hope even more people join us and watch on the replay. So if you do watch on the replay, let me know. #replay, all the things. If you're new here, tell us you're a newbie, and welcome. Yes, I know, you guys, it was beyond scary, but I'm so thankful. I don't know what else to say. I just feel so thankful that it worked out the way it did, because it could have been the total opposite for sure. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are. So I am going to tell my story again today. And for those of you that were there yesterday, I'm sorry that you have to kind of listen to the first part of it again. And I hope I can do it the same, like, justice as I did yesterday. Because now it's not really my first time sharing it. Whereas yesterday it was my first time sharing a lot of this. And so thank you guys. Tell it again, girl. Yes. Looking forward to the continuation of the story. Very meaningful. Thank you, Jeanette. If you don't know, we're celebrating 10 years of Wilshire Collections this week on the page, which is bananas and so exciting, and all of that, y'all. I can't believe it's been 10 years. There are definitely, when I'm looking at these throwback pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, that feels like 10 years ago. But overall, oh, it says, am I backwards? Oh, did I not flip my camera? Oh, it does say 01. Hold on. I thought I had flipped my camera. Okay, am I back? Am I normal now? Y'all are like, oh, she's 0-1 today. That's hilarious. Oh, there we go, y'all. We got it. We got it. Woo! Okay, if that's the worst that happens today, then we're good. Janice says, good stories are worth repeating. Thank you, Janice. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Thank you for telling me that. I didn't even notice. So anyways, y'all, that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to start chatting. And I told them yesterday that I have notes. Now, yesterday, I really barely had to look at my notes, but I just don't want to forget any critical parts. If you see me looking over, then that's what it's all about. So back in 2013, y'all, well, first of all, to let you in on a little bit of my prior life before Wilshire, I was a pharmaceutical rep for a couple of different companies. I had Parker and my oldest son in 2006, and I actually ended up, my whole team got laid off when I was pregnant with him. They were doing a lot of cuts at that time in that industry. I thought it was devastating at the time to lose my job basically on my due date, but I ended up having him, being able to be a stay-at-home mom. It was such a blessing in disguise. Was a stay-at-home mom for several years, then ended up getting another part-time pharmaceutical job doing that, plus the mom thing. We struggled with infertility to get pregnant with our second, which is my son Tyler, who's now 11. And once that finally happened, I knew that I wanted to be at home, you know, when he was born. Well, I think I was already actually, I had left even before that. But anyways, I was a stay-at-home mom when he was born. And when he was about a year and a half years old, when he was 1.5, 2012, I guess it was at this point, I started just really feeling the urge and the want to be able to use that creative side of my brain and to do something with that. And I knew I didn't want to go back into pharmaceutical sales. I was done with all of that, but I wanted to do something. I didn't know what that would look like. And I can remember being on the computer, searching for part-time jobs and just thinking, you know, there's got to be something I could do to kind of get me out of the house a little. And at that time, my mom was willing to watch Tyler like a little bit, but I would still have had to have put him in like preschool or, you know, some daycare kind of thing. And I couldn't find anything that would pay me enough to justify childcare. If any of y'all have been there, you know how frustrating that can be. And so thank you guys for all the well wishes. So it was 2013 or 2012, Christmas of 2012. And we were at my parents' house for Christmas, and my sister and I were sitting up on the floor of my parents' bedroom and just talking about this. At this time, she was pregnant with her first child and also kind of in the I don't know what I'm going to do thing. Am I going to work? Am I going to fully stay at home? You know, just kind of navigating all of that. And that same holiday season, we had gone to a little vintage market and bought our first little can of chalk paint. It was Annie Sloan chalk paint. And we both like ran home, grabbed some random little end table, which I still have, the very first end table that I've ever painted. It's not that good, but I have it and I'll always keep it. What was I going to say? Oh, so we painted a little end table and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So as we're sitting there and, you know, we had shown it to family and friends, like, oh, cute. And of course, my mom's like, oh, will you guys paint some stuff for me? And we're like, sure. You know, we don't know what we're doing, but why not? So as we're sitting there on the floor of my parents, one of their bedrooms, you know, we were like, well, maybe we could like paint furniture for people. Like maybe we could like start a business. I mean, y'all, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't really even know what we were doing when we had painted 2 pieces each at that point, you know, but we were like, we like it and it's fun and let's just see what happens. So that is where Wilshire Collections was born, on the floor of my parents' bedroom. And one of the streets that we grew up on was Wilshire Way. So that's where Wilshire came from. So Wilshire Collections started and we found ourselves a spot in a local store here where we could become, a vendor and set up our stuff. So if you saw the picture that I posted this morning, the throwback, that was Blair, my sister, and I in our very first booth when we had first set up. And I mean, y'all, we were just tickled pink. I mean, we it was amazing. It was the coolest thing to think, oh my gosh, we are in a store. And so we sold our painted furniture. We made cork boards and chalkboards and picture frames. And we sold some other decor items. And it really started picking up, pretty fast, like more faster than we thought it would. And they would call us, you had a dresser sale. And we'd be like, oh my gosh, we got to paint something else. We just started kind of, it is an adventure. Yes. We just started kind of figuring it out as we went. We eventually started taking on custom pieces. So if somebody, had a dresser, had a buffet, had something that they wanted painted, we would paint that for them. And some things sold quickly and some, yes, Aaron, that was our first store, was Vintage 615. You will probably remember, oh my gosh, if there's any other OGs on here, you have to tell me. But yes, Vintage 615 was the first store that we were in. And then over time, at one point we were in 3 stores at once, but mostly we were just in 2 stores with all of those same type things. And no, she does not. I'll get to that part, Leslie. So we did that together for a couple of years. And I was telling them yesterday, there's so many things I loved about that. So Emily's an OG. I've known Emily since college, y'all. So she's really an OG. There's so many things about that I loved, but it's a very physical and physically demanding job. Painting furniture it's hard on your back, on your knees, and all the things. It's hard because we were constantly looking for furniture, going to pick up furniture, flipping furniture. Anthony, his truck was staying hot on the road because I was constantly, I found a dresser, I found this, It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to keep those booths filled. And then when we took on the custom on top of it, it was a lot. But for several years, it was the bulk of what we did. And it was, we did very well. When we ended up moving into our second store, which was the Faded Farmhouse, we were very successful there. And furniture was selling so fast that it was actually stressful because we were 2 people and we were like, how are we going to keep up and find the furniture, paint the furniture, all of that. But we managed somehow, but after a couple years of doing that, so my sister, I told you she was pregnant when we started with her first son. She ended up having 3 babies, 3 boys, like 5 under 5, basically, like back to back to back. So she ended up deciding that it was her turn to be a stay-at-home mom and that she wanted to just focus on raising her babies and doing all the things. So nothing bad happened. It was no bad terms, anything like that. But she phased herself, out of the business. And I scaled back because I knew I couldn't manage all of those, stores myself or whatever at that time. But also around the same time, and it's just all of these things happen and you don't see them at the time. And then you look back and you're like, oh, okay. So around that same time, I was still painting furniture and doing a lot of custom work at that time. And I would be going into people's homes to do what I called like color consult. So I'd be going in, like looking at their buffet, like, okay, well, this is the color I think we should paint it, blah, blah, blah. And then while I was there, they were asking me, well, what about rugs? What about curtains? And I'm standing there giving them advice. And so eventually I was like, wait a second, like, maybe I need to be charging for this advice. Maybe I need to, but then all these voices were saying, no, you don't. You're not an interior designer. You don't know what you're doing. You haven't been to school for this. And I fought that for a while because I don't have a design degree. I only have an eye for it. I have an eye for it because my mom has an eye for it, and I definitely get it from her. So shout out, Mom, if you're watching. But I felt like I wasn't, I didn't have the certifications or the whatever. So after some research and whatever, I figured out, you know what? I know more than the people that want to hire me for these things, and if they like my decorating style and they trust me to do this, as long as I'm open and honest about my background and my whatever, then let's just see how this goes. So I launched Wilshire Collections Interior Styling at that time. And it was great too. It was, I mean, it was a wild ride. It was harder than I expected to decorate other people's homes for just a myriad of reasons. But I learned a lot, and I feel like I really started to grow because it pushed me to, not everybody that hired me had the exact same style as I did. So when they would want a different type of thing, I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to decorate to this style, you know? So it really helped me just kind of grow, you know, a lot in that way. And during that time is when I was like, okay, I'm doing all these people's houses and doing all this stuff. I want to have a place to share this, because at this point, y'all, I had a Facebook page, but I was only focused on local people, growing my local following, because I had, you know, the booths in the store. So I mean, I wasn't trying to find people in Montana and Ohio. I mean, it didn't, you know, Wilshire Way is the street we grew up on. That's where the name came. So, you know, oh shoot, see, if I keep reading the comments, I'm going to get off track. I am trying to kind of see your comments though, but what was I saying? Oh, I wanted to be able to share it more on social media. So I wanted to share on social media, and I decided to start my blog in 2017. I started the blog by myself. I built my own website, my blog. I bought an ebook to learn how to do it. Didn't know what I was doing. Would not recommend it. It was awful. It's amazing the thing functioned for so many years, because I am not an IT person, and glad I made it to Idaho. Thank you. It was crazy town, y'all, but I did it, and I launched that blog and started sharing. And so that is when things kind of started growing, not fast, but the page started growing, and people from other areas started finding me. And people would reach out to me and send me messages on Facebook. Hey, I live in Ohio, and here's my living room. What do you think I should do? And for a long time, I was helping people out in Facebook Messenger. And then I just started thinking, man, is there a way? I can't travel everywhere. I can't go around and help everybody decorate in person, but like, maybe there's a way that I can do this. And so that is around the time that I also got introduced to online business coaches, which I did not know what that was leading up to that. And my friend Stacey Haynes is the one who first introduced me to Jennifer Allwood. I was like, you pay somebody to be your business coach? Like, no, I'm just going to go on Google, like whatever. But after watching Jennifer for a couple months, I was like, all right, I'm going to join this coaching group. And it really helped just shift and change a lot of the, just the trajectory and the path of my business. And it opened my eyes to, just seeing that there is a space in this online world, and how could I shift my talents and, you know, the things that I like and enjoy into some kind of business in the online space. And also around this time, and this is the part that I shared yesterday, that up until then, I had never really shared publicly. But in 2017, same year I started the blog, I was doing all of that. I had some health issues and a health scare. And, oh, Stacey introduced you to Wilshire. She is so awesome. I love her. I was just texting with her yesterday. But I had a health scare, and at the time when it happened, I thought I was having a stroke. It was not a stroke, but I was getting ready one morning in my bathroom. Anthony was out of town, because it's a running joke that anytime he's out of town, stuff hits the fan, you know. And I was sitting there getting ready, and my eye closed up and drew up, and my mouth drew up. Not Bell's palsy. That's the opposite with drooping. And I panicked. I called Anthony, and he's like, call 911, you know. But by the time I got off the phone with him, I call them episodes, lasted about a minute, and it was done. It was like my face was going back. So I called my dad instead, and he rushed to get me. We went to the ER. They immediately thought that I had a stroke. But long story short, it was not a stroke, but I went through over a year. I don't even know, y'all. I feel like it was maybe closer to a year and a half of multiple tests, multiple doctors, different specialists. And every doctor that I would go to would literally look at me like I was an alien, like they had never heard that before. I was tested for everything from, treated for migraines, MS, brain tumors, a lot. And it was one of the hardest periods of my life, because I had a lot of good going on, and things felt like they were taking a little shift with my business, and I was, getting excited about things, and then this happens, and, anybody that's been through anything like that, medically related, it's obviously hard and it's scary, but not knowing and not having answers was awful. I don't do well under those circumstances, and the more time that went on, the more frequent the episodes became. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. And they became pretty debilitating in the sense they weren't painful or anything like that, but they, socially, it was hard for me because I never knew when it was going to happen, and it was embarrassing. And I was always left with a headache and a lot of body fatigue and things like that afterwards. And so it really, really started to affect me. And as I had mentioned, at this same time, all in this year is when I was in Jennifer's coaching group, and she is there saying, you got to go live. You got to go live. If you want to grow your business, you got to go live. And I'm sitting there like, Jennifer, no, girl, that will not happen. I will never go live. And I had a lot of fears surrounding going live, but one of my biggest fears was that I would be live. And keep in mind, I didn't have this connection, this community, all of this that I have now, where I feel so comfortable with you guys, that what would happen if I had one of these episodes on a live? What would I say? Would I just end the live? Y'all would be scared. What would I tell you? And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want a million people trying to diagnose me over the internet. I was trying to keep that part of my life private, and I've kept it private all these years. And it was a hard time. But everything I have done in my business, everything, y'all, I've done it scared, and I've really done it without a lot of, I hope this doesn't make me sound bad, without a lot of knowledge. I've just figured it out as I went. And so I need to go back and look. I still haven't found it. I don't know if it was late 2017 or early 2018, the first time I hit that live button. But I was terrified. And probably for the first year that I went live, every time I went live, I was terrified, but I did it. And I showed up, and it wasn't a success overnight. I think, first live, I had 20, 30 people watching, and half of them were probably my family and friends that I was like, no, there wouldn't have been 500 people even watching me back then, Penny, for sure. But I'd be like, y'all come watch my live because I'm scared and, whatever. But I did it, and I kept showing up and putting myself out there. And by the grace of God, y'all, I never, ever had one of those episodes on a live, ever. Which is a miracle, and I'm thankful for it. And it's crazy because I would have like a kind of a constant eye twitch, which isn't visible. You've had one of those, I'm sure, when you're stressed. Not really visible to other people, but the full-blown, they call them tonus spasms, never happened on a live. I did finally I don't know, y'all, I'm so bad with dates, late 2018, or maybe it was 2019, I finally saw a specialist, here that for the first time looked at me and was like, had all my charts, all my scans, all the things. And he's like, I think I know what you have. And I'm like, what? So they think, and I say think because I have if this is what it is, it's different and it's rare. So it's called hemifacial spasm. But most people that have this start off with a constant twitch, and then it eventually develops into these tonus spasms, whereas mine came out of the blue directly with the spasm. And so I didn't really fit the mold for this, but it was the first thing that halfway made sense. And when I was able to, read about it, research it, whatever, even though I'm different, I think, than a lot of people maybe that have it, and it is rare. Anyways, long story short, the only thing you can really do, because it has to do with this nerve, I can't even think of the name of it right now, is have this brain surgery, which I did not want to have. The only other option was to get Botox in the area where the spasms were happening to relax the muscles. And I went through the ringer with that because trying to get that done at a doctor's office, they're like, well, we can only do one side and you're going to be facially deformed. And I'm like, well, which is worse? You know, it was awful. But I told them yesterday, knock on wood, I have been able to get Botox in the affected area since 2019 or 20. I can't remember what year I started. And it keeps them at bay. I would definitely still be having them if it wasn't for that. So I'll keep doing that as long as I have to. And if surgery happens down the road, then it does. But for now, I'm just so thankful that they help. But I say all of that just to encourage y'all, you know, whether you have a business or not, or it doesn't matter, y'all, anything in life, you know, God was there beside me, pushing me to hit that live button. And I didn't even at that time understand why. I did not know why I was really being led, called, whatever to do this, but I kept doing it and I kept showing up. And I don't know, y'all. You have to go in with both feet first sometimes and just do it scared because you never know what's going to come out of that. And so during all of this, y'all, is when I'm just making this shift in my business so the health scare that I had was also causing me to realize I can't be out in my garage every day. I cannot be relying on the only way I can make money in my business is to be in my garage on my hands and knees painting a piece of furniture. And to be totally honest with you, as successful as it may have looked that I was at that point on the outside, I wasn't, y'all. I was profiting in my business, but not enough to write home about. I was putting as much back into the business. You know what I'm trying to say. And I just thought there has to be a better way. Like either I, have to move on or whatever. So that is when I had the idea to launch my first holiday course. Thank you guys so much. And then eventually my decorating and creating community. And I told them yesterday, but when all of that was happening, I had people in my life that were like, people aren't going to do that. I mean, they're not going to pay for that. They need decorating help. They're just going to go on Pinterest, and I let that get to me. But then I kept hearing God say, do it. You're meant to do this. And I put it out there. I had my first holiday course. Don't remember how many people, but it wasn't a lot. And then I launched my DC group, which I still have to this day. It has changed and evolved a lot over the years. In the beginning, it was just my decorating community. I think we had 30 people in the group and like 10 of them were my family members that I just let in for free. So it looked like there were bodies in there because I was so scared nobody would join. But they did. And it did not happen overnight. Nothing in business, nothing in life usually is handed to you on a silver platter, happens overnight. And thank you guys. I'm seeing your comments. Y'all are just so sweet. And so, but I was trying. Like that's all I knew to do was try, right? And so I was trying. And my husband's in sales. And if y'all have ever been in sales or a husband that's in sales and all of that, you have up and down years. And Anthony has been with his company for 15 years. It's a great company and he's been very blessed overall, but he was having a bad year. It was a down year. And I just wasn't making enough money in the business to write home about, like I said. And so I can remember vividly, and I know Anthony remembers too, but I can remember standing there crying to him and being like, just give me 6 more months. Just give me 6 more months. Like, I know I can do this. I can make it work. And if I don't, I'm just going to go get a job at Kirkland's, all of this. And Anthony is my biggest supporter, y'all. He always has been. He believed in me far before I started to believe in myself. And he was like, I know, you can do it. Like, we're going to make this work. We'll cut back. We'll do this and that, Never once did he downplay my dreams. Did he, force me or whatever to stop and go get a real job. He believed in me and, I kept plowing through, but it was like that little kind of what felt like this rock bottom moment where I was having health issues. I didn't want to be in my garage painting anymore. I knew I was destined for more, but I didn't know what that was going to look like or how I was going to get there. But I just knew I wanted it more than I wanted anything before. Here's where things changed, okay? And I truly believe when you're in business, like, you have to have a why. You have to have a reason, a purpose, more than, I just like decorating. I like crafting. I need some extra money. Those things can't be your why, you know? And I told this story yesterday, and I'm telling it again because it's super, super, yes, he's awesome, y'all. He really is. Oh my goodness, you do, Donna. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. And so the pivotal moment that happened next was I got a message from a follower here on the page who still follows along. And she told me that she had been dealing with brain cancer, had been having treatments, and that my videos helped bring her out of depression, and that my videos would bring her joy. And, you know, she went on and on in this message. And that was the first message. And I've had many, many, many since then. But that was the first message that I ever got from someone where I was literally floored, because in my head, I don't know what I thought I was doing. I thought I was going live, sharing decorating, sharing a little crafting. I wasn't even crafting a lot at this point. Honestly, it was mostly decorating. And oh, you're so welcome, Debbie. I'm glad to share with you guys, and I hope it inspires and encourages even just one person. But we have okay, hold on. Hold on. I didn't see it, y'all. If I see it, let me just scroll for a minute. But, oh, okay. I've got it, y'all. He is gone. Okay. He's gone. Thank you. Thank you. We have no time for trolls today. Yes, I got him, y'all. Anyways, I was doing all of this without a purpose, without a true purpose and meaning behind what I was doing. And yeah, ignore. If he sent anybody a message on Messenger, don't open it, delete it, block him, ban him, do whatever you got to do. But he's gone from this page. Sorry, y'all. And so anyways, getting that message from Missy that day literally opened my eyes. And in that message, she used the word joy over and over. And that is when joy kind of became my mission word for this page. And I realized, like, holy cow, God has been laying all of this in front of me for a much bigger reason than I ever thought it was for. And I am here to inspire and to spread joy and to bring light to some of you on your darkest days. And to some of you, I'm just here because you want to see the cute crafts or the decor, and that's fine. But for a lot of people, I've realized over the years, it's become much more than that. Much, much more than that. And it changed everything, y'all. I'm telling you, that moment changed everything in my life, everything in my business, and I'll never forget it. And I've told her, I'm flipping my page here. I haven't really had to look at my notes much, but just in case, I have not, I'll never forget her. I will never forget her. And I'm so glad that she was bold enough to reach out and let me know how it had impacted her. Because I just don't know what things would have looked like if that had not have happened. And so it literally started changing slowly. I started phasing out of furniture. Then I had my little Lazy Susan phase. How many of y'all have one of my Lazy Susans? I sold those left and right, online and in local stores. Hopefully those mad faces are an accident, but we're just moving on. And I was slowly able to phase out of being in as many stores. I still had one little booth, and I sold paint and different things and my Lazy Susans, but I was slowly moving more into this, online space. And so in 2019, so we're kind of jumping. Most of this happened like 2017, 2018. 2019, y'all, at this point, I don't know. I had less than 100 people in the DC group. Printable Club didn't even exist. But at that point, I was like, I'm going to have my first live event. My friend Brooke with Refabbed, I had been to her live event. She's like, you need to have a live event. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a live event. So I had my first live event in 2019, which I forgot about to tell this part yesterday. So I'm glad that we're redoing it today. And that's also the time that I hired my first employee, Katie, who's still with me today, all around that time, because I remember reaching out to her and I was like, well, my live event is next week, like after I had interviewed her and whatever. I was like, so we can start after that. And it's like a running joke with Katie and I that when I first emailed her, I was like, I think I need like somebody like 3 to 5 hours a week. And within like 2 months, she was working like 10 to 15 hours. I did not realize at that point in my business that I needed help as much as I did. I had a very hard time letting go of control, hashtag control freak. I'm first to admit it. It was very hard to delegate. But from the beginning, Katie has been a godsend to my business. And so back to the live event. I had my first live event in 2019. I had 50 ladies come from all over the country. Most of them were in my decorating community. Some of them were just from the page. It was the most awesome weekend. Something again that I will never forget. If anybody is watching, Melissa, are you on here? If anybody that was at that event, let me know. But put that on pretty much myself and Anthony, recruited some friends to help, and we were able to pull off this amazing event. But one story I want to tell about the event, because this was, I think, another one of those pivotal moments for me where I was like, oh my Lanta, you know? So obviously I see your names. Maybe I see your profile pictures. I see your crafts that you post, and I know y'all are real people. I know that. But to this point, I really had not met, you know, other than running into people at stores or whatever, hadn't met a lot of you in person, you know, and I don't know what I was expecting going into it. I knew that the ladies were coming, were excited. I was so excited to be able to put faces to names and hug their necks and just all of that. But I guess I didn't fully know. So we had it at this hotel. My sister, my parents, everybody are there helping. Anthony and I, oh good, Debbie, I hope you'll come to my event this year for sure, which we can talk about that at the end. I do still have tickets, but that's not what this is about. So my sister, I'd gone up to the hotel room to freshen up before the event, and my sister calls me and she's like, oh my gosh, Stacey, get down here. I'm like, what? She's like, there's all these people. They're like in the lobby. They're ready to come in. It was like 30 minutes before it starts. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. It was like 30 minutes before it starts, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I'm coming. So Anthony and I come down. This gives me chills every time I think about it, y'all. Anthony and I come down that elevator. The elevator doors open, and there's all these ladies. Some were sitting, some were standing. The ones that were sitting stand up when the elevator doors open, and they start, y'all, I looked around. I was like, oh my gosh, is Oprah here? I did not know what was going on. Honestly, I did not know what was going on. I'm like, what are they clapping at? And Anthony's like, they're clapping for you. I'm like, what? Like, it was the most surreal moment of my life, y'all. And for those 50 ladies that were there, yes, you made me feel like a rock star, like a celebrity, like I didn't deserve that applause. I didn't even know what to think, y'all. They were tickled pink to see me, and I was crying, and I'm like, oh my God. It was like it was the first time I was like, these are humans. Like, I knew y'all were humans, but I'm like, oh my gosh, there are real physical people here, and I am hugging their necks, and I'm putting faces to names, y'all. It was surreal times 100. Surreal times 100. And that event was amazing. It was so amazing. And I was going to have another one in 2020. That didn't get to happen. I'm having another one this year, finally, which I cannot wait for. It's going to be even bigger, even better, all the things. But we had such a good weekend. And I can remember literally laying on the floor of that event when it was over with everybody that was there helping me and crying because of how happy I was and crying. And I remember telling Anthony, like, I want to do that every month. Like, of course, no, those are way too much work to do it every month. But I'm like, oh, that's my Ring doorbell. Sorry. But I'm like, had an Oprah moment. No, I'm no Oprah. I'm not trying to compare myself to Oprah, but that is like, I was like, who's here? Like, there's somebody famous here, you know? And so anyways, it was just surreal. I loved everything about it. It was the best. And it was so many connections were made within that event with the other. I mean, what was so cool, y'all, and it'll be the same way this year, I guarantee you. So I did not give everybody a car, but I did give them some cute crafts to take home with them, which is the next best thing, right? But they all, some of them came alone, or they came with their husbands, but they left their husbands in the hotel while they did the craft thing. And by that first night, they're all like, where are we going to dinner? What are we doing? I mean, they made lifelong friends because of this event. And it's like all these things that I never really fully thought about. And so anyways, everything changed, y'all. Got back from that event. Katie had come on board and really started helping me out with the back end of the business, customer service, technology, all of the things. And, you know, I joke now because I have a team. I have Katie, who's my project manager, Amanda, who's my customer service manager, Mackenzie, who's my community manager, and then Kelly, who is my local assistant here. I have some other people that help with my Pinterest and my books and, you know, other things, but that's like my core team members. And I tell them all the time, I never asked to be a boss, y'all. I never asked to be some CEO of some company. I never really asked for this or wanted this or thought this was where my life would go. But I also knew very soon after hiring Katie, I couldn't do it alone. And that if I wanted to continue to grow my business, you can't do that with one person or you're going to run yourself into the ground. And so, you know, that was another just kind of pivotal, you know, moment. So then where we left off yesterday, I've got my whole team helping me with the retreat this year, Marianne. Yeah, so I've got a great people in place to help with the live event this year. So it's gonna be awesome. My whole team will be there, so that's gonna be so fun. But you guys are so sweet. Thank you. So where I left off yesterday, and hopefully it doesn't cut me off again. That would be very ironic. But I said, and then 2020 came. And we all know what happened in 2020. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to remind you. But we all know it came, right? And so it's in Franklin, Tennessee, y'all, September 29th and 30th. If you're interested, send me a message on my Facebook page and I can send you the link because we do have tickets available. I will do a live soon talking more about the event. I just don't want to take away from the story and all the things today, but I would love to meet y'all, of course, and would love for you to come for sure. You remember the day that I introduced y'all to Katie? Oh, that's so cool. Yes, the first time she came in town. I remember that like it was yesterday too, because nobody but Kelly on my team even lives here. They're all remote all over the place. So anywho, y'all, 2020 comes along and awful, right? Scary, unknown, uncertain, all the things. And without going into too much about what all happened in 2020, because we all know, we all remember, I'm going to focus on the good of that and what came from that. So yes, definitely send me a message if you're interested, Lori. So it happened. We're scared. We don't know what we're doing. And quickly, y'all, myself and several other my friends just in this kind of crafting community, we realized we suddenly had an important job. Not that it wasn't already important, but it was becoming evident that it was even more important because everybody was stuck at home. Everybody was looking for an outlet. They were looking to connect with people. They were looking for stuff to do, whether that was stuff, I just feel emotional again, stuff around their homes, craft projects, you know, whatever the case may be. And I tried my best during that time to show up live. And even when I was just as scared as everybody else and just as uncertain, I would show up and I would craft and I would do things. And the pool purchase, yes, we could never forget the blow up pool of the summer of 2020. I missed that thing. That was amazing. So many of y'all found me during that time. If you remember that you found me during that time, let me know. I just would be interested. I started to see a lot of growth during that time because people were sharing my videos. I had a lot more people watching my videos in 2020 and 2021 than I do now, because now all y'all are back to work. But back then, nobody was, at work, and y'all were bored. So you had nothing better to do basically than watch me and watch other people that you loved. And so, I really tried to continue to just show up during that time. And so, I see a bunch of you saying that you did. What happened was y'all started telling me how much that meant to you and how much you were relying on the videos and how much I was helping pass your days and all of that. But what you may or may not have known is that y'all were helping me big time. And there were days where I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go live. I couldn't put on it takes a lot to be so vulnerable and to be so forward facing, but also to show up when you're having a bad day, to show up on a live video and try and put on a smile and bring smiles to others when you're also hurting and worried and whatever. It's hard some days. So there were days where I'm like, can't do it. And then there were other days where I'm like, all right, I need them today as much as they need me. So I would go live, and it would always cheer me up. And so I think what happened in the crafting community during that time is amazing. I feel like that is when this community really started to build, and even though I already had a good foundation, this is when we became more rock solid, in my opinion, and we started to trust each other. We started to get to know each other more. I let you into more of my family life during that time. So many of y'all found me then. I knew it. And so thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh. Nancy says, found you in 2020 and you saved my life. Thank you. I mean, I don't even know, y'all. I just don't even know. But again, God was telling me, keep showing up. They need you, and so I did. And I was whisper shopping the first time you found me. That's very appropriate. My backyard beach, Kathy. I loved my backyard beach. I still go out there, and I'm going to have a backyard beach at the new house for sure. So, it was a horrible time, and it lasted way longer than any of us, of course, thought, wanted, whatever. But there were good things too. And that's a weird sentence to say, but there were blessings that happened during that time. And I'm thankful for those. I am very thankful for those. And also in 2020, printables were born. Not printables. I didn't invent printables. Let me take that back. I did not invent printables, okay? Printables have been around for forever. But this is when crafting printables on my page were kind of born. I gotta have a sip of water, y'all. This is a lot of talking. Christmas tree tutorial. I almost left that out. That was another start to the online stuff for me. It was my first Christmas tree tutorial. Okay, so in 2020, May of 2020, I had always designed printables here and there that I would put on my blog or just whatever. And the Printable Club was 2020 also, Linda. So I had designed a couple printables that I was going to give. This was May of 2020. I was opening up my decorating and creating community group. So that's the same DC group that I started all those years ago when no one believed in me, and it's still going strong, and it's an amazing group, and they're like family to me, and I love them. But I was opening that group. So I was like, I'm going to design a couple printables, and then anybody that joins will get these printables. And here is my aha moment. This was the literal light bulb moment that, again, changed another trajectory, another whatever of my business that I didn't see coming. So, Melissa, I was just talking about the live event. I figured you were on here about the first live event. Melissa was there. So, anyways, I designed those printables, and I was printing them out. And as I was printing them, I was like, wait a second. Printables are paper, and scrapbook paper is paper. If I can Mod Podge scrapbook paper, why can't I Mod Podge a printable? I mean, that was the literal thought that ran through my head. I remember at this time, y'all know I've crafted from the kitchen table, a little bedroom in our house, and then the office, and then now Wilshire place. But at this point, I was crafting in the little room in our house, and I remember running to the closet and grabbing a Dollar Tree surface. And I was like, surely I can craft with this. And I whipped out my Mod Podge, stuck it on a Dollar Tree surface, and I was like, oh my Lanta, I think I just did that. And so I was like, that's so cool. Like, that's so cool. I can make a printable and I can craft with it. So I went live and crafted on another Dollar Tree surface, and I went Mod Podge, stick, and y'all were all like, oh, you know. And I'm like, isn't this cool, y'all? I think we can craft with printables. Well, at that time, oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. I want to read this comment. Oh, my gosh. I can't even see. It cut off part of it. Sandy, I'm going to go back and make sure I can. It shows me part of your comment, but this looks like a good one. I'm going to make sure I read this. Please. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I've just read part of it. Thank you, Sandy. I will be sure to read all of that for sure. So anyways, went live with the printable, and literally, all y'all that were around them were like, when are you going to do more printables? Are you going to do more printables? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can do more printables. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. Again, here I am, not knowing what I'm doing, but doing it anyways. I joke all the time. I don't know why y'all think I'm qualified to do half the stuff I do, but I make it work, you know? So I was like, all right, I'm going to design some more printables, and I'm going to put some printables up on my website for sale. And they went crazy, y'all. Y'all went crazy for them. And they were super, super successful right from the start. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm onto something, you know? But what happened was y'all were spending too much money, which sounds weird, but I always want crafting to be affordable and adorable for y'all. I want it to be easy for you guys to make things for your home and not feel like you're breaking the bank. So as I was releasing more and more printable bundles, ladies were literally, I thought, I'll make all these and they'll pick their favorite one or two. No, y'all were buying all of them. So people were spending $30, $40, $50, $60 on printables. And yeah, I just started thinking like, okay, how can I maintain this and still bring them new printables, but keep it affordable? But also I'm a business, and so I need to be profitable, you know, just all the things. And so at that time, it was just Katie and I. That's the only people I had on my team. And that is when the Printable Club was born. And so we're like, okay, well, we have this other subscription that's the DC, but it's totally different. You know, what if we start something for people that are interested in the printables? And at the time we started it, you got 5 printables a month. Now it's 6 printables. You got 5 printables a month. You know, early access, this little member area you could log into. And I remember even then doubting that, because I was like, no, they just want a few printables right now. I don't know that people want it to be like an ongoing thing. And I can remember going live and chatting with y'all about it. Like, I had this idea, like, would y'all want to be in like a printable club? I mean, and y'all were like, yes, yes, yes. So I launched the Printable Club in August of 2020. If you have been in the club since the beginning, say, find me in the club or something like that, because so many of y'all have been in since the beginning. And the success that the Printable Club had out the gate was mind-blowing, y'all. It was mind-blowing. And I'm being super open and vulnerable, and I hope you know that. I never share this kind of stuff. But this just felt right. This being the 10-year anniversary, I just felt like in general, it was time for me to let y'all in a little more, share, open up. Lori says, find me in the club. Oh my gosh, I love it. And so it blew my mind. And here's the thing, y'all. I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't really know what I was doing. And if you look back on my early printables, not that they weren't good, because they were fine. They were good in their own way, but I have grown a lot. And again, I just dove in. I didn't know what I was doing, but I started watching videos. I started researching different programs, different platforms, different things, different, ways that I could basically hone in on these new, I guess you could call them graphic design skills. I'm not a graphic artist or any of that. You guys are so awesome, all you OGs. I love it. But I just started figuring it out as I went. And every month, I like to think I've gotten better and better over the years. It has been something that has been such a fun, creative outlet for me. I just thought of this, and I'm going to share this real quick. There was a time before Wilshire collections, that I was, like, I need a job, I need a business, just still kind of thinking about that stuff. Do y'all ever remember back when my boys were little, it was really, really popular to have birthday invitations that were like a theme, like, if your kid was into backyardigans, that was Parker's favorite back in the day. It would have like backyardigans and their little picture, like, come to the birthday party. I remember buying this software program that I thought was going to teach me how to make invitations. And that was going to be my business. I was going to make invitations. And I always had this desire, like, to make cute things like that, cute graphic things, but I didn't know what I was doing. And that software was horrible, horrible. I got frustrated and I put it to the side. But I think about that quite a bit because, the printables is different than that, but it's a way for me to use my creativity to create these bundles like this one, like our give back bundle that's going on right now, which I'll tell you all more about that at the end. But to create bundles where I can bring different elements together and different things to create beautiful, basically artwork for your home that you can put in frames or you can craft with or whatever. And, oh, thank you, Angie. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. And so it's full circle a little bit for sure, and, the printable club has grown. The DC has grown over the years. I have all these different facets and, avenues of my business now. And every bit of it has exceeded my wildest dreams, my wildest expectations. Y'all have blessed me. You've blessed my family. You gave somebody, that somebody is me, who did not believe in themselves, who did not think they were worthy of strangers on the internet, which are not strangers to me, loving me, accepting me for who I am. Y'all changed my life 1000%. And I need the toilet paper. I wouldn't be where I am today without y'all. I take my job, I take this page, I take all of it so dang serious. You can ask Anthony, he can confirm tonight, y'all. I live and breathe God, my family, and Wilshire. I try and lead with integrity. I try and lead with my morals, with my faith, with all of that. And y'all, I've been tested over the years. I'm not even going into that. I've been hurt. I've been betrayed by people I thought were my friends. There have been some very rocky roads. There really have. And so at any of those given moments, I could have given up. I could have, walked away or whatever, but I didn't. And I'm still here and y'all are still here. And I don't know. I just don't know what to say except for thank you, like from the bottom of my heart. I feel so blessed and lucky. And there are still times where I'm like, God, why'd you pick me? Like, why'd you pick me? Y'all know I'm as average Joe as they come, and I'm a hot mess, and I sing on lives when I should not sing on lives. I do all kinds of things that probably aren't the right way or the whatever. But y'all love me anyways, just like Anthony loves me for the weirdo that I am. I feel like y'all are the same way. And, it just feels so good. And if you go back and you watch my old videos, not to say I was showing up as a fake version of myself, because I never came on to be fake, but I was definitely not comfortable. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I've struggled with my weight my whole life. I have insecurities about that. I was not comfortable. I was not showing up as my true self. And I can honestly say now, I show up as my true self. And I put myself out there as vulnerable as it is. And I've been blessed in return. That's all I know. That's all I know. And so I hope that all of this could encourage you guys. I want to say thank you too to my team, because literally, like I mentioned earlier, I couldn't do any of this and would not be where I was without them. Would not be anywhere. And yes, oh yeah, we can't even on the haters and stuff that have come along over the years. That's a whole nother live. But yeah, that's been a challenge too. But I couldn't do any of this without them. So it's without them, without y'all, without God, my family's support, you know, my parents. Oh my gosh, they're my super big cheerleaders too. And my sister, you know, who has always, even, you know, though she's no longer a part of Wilshire, she's still kind of a part of Wilshire, and she's always been such a big supporter and just cheerleader in everything that I do. So yes. And okay, Kathy says, thank you for your honesty. We all have real struggles. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you look at something from the outside looking in, you're like, dang, you know, she's got a successful business. Dang, she's got a husband that loves her. Dang, she's got, you know, 2 great kids. Dang, she's building this house. She's building, you know, her dream house. She's doing this and this and that. And all that's true right now. And I'm so thankful for it. But at the end of the day, I'm a real person who's been through a lot of real struggles, and I'm still going through struggles, y'all. I still go through struggles. There's things in my personal life that I will never share publicly. Never. I'm not one who's going to come and air my dirty laundry on a Facebook and whatever. But my life is great, but it's not perfect. And I just try and show up and do the best that I can, you know? So I don't know. I hope it has encouraged you guys. It feels really good to share more of this. It feels good to just be vulnerable and let y'all in just a little bit more, because I've thought so many times, especially about the health stuff, I've thought so many times over the years, and I did eventually talk about it in my DC group, but I just never felt comfortable talking about it on the page. But I don't care anymore. It's part of my story, and it's part of what led me to where I am right now. And so thank you guys for the stars. Y'all are so sweet. Lori says, I was so nervous when I met you. It was all I could do not to cry. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about the DC getaway. I can't believe I even left that out. I'm sorry, getaway girls. Last year in 2022, I was able to have a small little, I called it my DC getaway. It was 20 ladies from my DC group that came in from all over the country, because I could not have a big live event last year. But talk about also incredible, another surreal moment. I'll never forget when the doors opened to the little venue where we were having it. And what was cool about that is I did know their faces, because they are in my DC. They're part of the DC family. I had stalked their Facebook profile pictures and all the things. So I would be like, oh, there's Melissa, there's Janice, there's Lori, you know, there's whoever coming in. Like, I recognized y'all. And we got to spend, oh my gosh, hi, Kim. Oh my gosh. So Kim, that is on here right now, her husband, Lowell, hey Kim, that's so cool that you're on here, was one of my managers when I was in pharmaceutical sales back my prior life, way before this. And I love Lowell and I love Kim. But you're so sweet. You're so sweet. And yeah, God, we had so many good, every time I see a Rafferty's, I think of you guys. We always ate at Rafferty's. I love that place. But anyways, you were so scared to walk into that lodge, but it was like instant family. And again, y'all, the night before the DC getaway, they all had come into town or whatever. They were sending me selfies from the hotel. They had all just met in the hotel lobby, and they're like, headed to dinner. I mean, super, super cool. I'm pretty sure a lot of them, if not all of them, are still chatting, still keeping in touch. Most of them that are able to are coming to my live event this September. So real friendships were formed, not just with myself and these ladies who I now feel super, super connected to, even more so than before, but through them too. All because we have this same love. All because we, you know, all share a love of crafting, decorating, DIY, whatever the case may be. So the fact that I get to facilitate things like that is really, really cool. It's really stinking cool. And that is why I'm just so excited for the live event this September, to welcome even more of you guys to Franklin, to Tennessee, you know, to my hometown area. and craft with you guys for 2 days. It's going to be a total blast. And like I said, I'll definitely talk about all that again soon. You consider me a good friend. I consider y'all good friends. I truly, truly do. So it was like meeting family for the first time. Yes. Oh my gosh. I just remember hugging y'all and being like, this is amazing. Like getting to hug your necks in person is what it's all about. It's so cool. It's such a cool thing for me. So, anyways, do y'all have any questions? I have rambled for, well, I've been on an hour. That's not too bad. I thought it'd be longer than that. But you know, I said yesterday that I was like, you know, I'm going to go live, and thank you to Mackenzie, my community manager, who encouraged me to even do this live, because she's like, have you ever told your full story? And I'm like, no. I mean, I've told, like when people say, where'd you get the name Wilshire? When did Wilshire start? Like I've told bits and pieces, but she's like, people want to hear your story. Mackenzie is an encourager by nature, y'all. And she's like, people want to hear your story. There are people that need to hear your story. Like, you know, don't be scared. Just like I've said with everything, do it scared. So me coming on here to open up, I did it scared. This was not something that I'm like, oh, this will be a breeze. I haven't been nervous for a Facebook Live in years, and I was nervous yesterday and nervous again today. But I feel like it hopefully spoke to somebody. Oh, good. You ordered printables and a t-shirt. Okay. Let me show you real quick. Okay. This is our give back bundle. Y'all, before I came live, we had already raised around $800 for a Habitat for Humanity. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who's already purchased this bundle. This is the give back bundle that I created for this week for the celebration of the 10-year anniversary. As y'all, I'm sure most of y'all know about Habitat for Humanity. They help build and rebuild homes for people that need homes and shelter. It's an amazing charity. And I thought, what better way? Home is so important to me. And I'm so blessed that I have a roof over my head and all of the things. What better way for us to be able to, as a community, come together and make a difference in other people's lives? Because it's important to me to do this kind of stuff and to pass on these blessings to others. So 100% of the proceeds, the printable bundle is $5. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. $5. 100% of the proceeds go to Habitat for Humanity. Even if you're not a crafter, I don't often come on and beg and be like, please buy. I mean, I guess I probably beg a little, but you know, I'm not like, buy it. I'm going to tell y'all, buy it. Okay. You can put this in an 8x10 picture frame. You can throw it in the trash and call it a $5 donation. It doesn't matter, but it's us coming together to be able to do some good and make a change and a difference in this world where, in a world that needs a lot of change and a lot of things, you know, needs this kind of thing. So this is the first part. I'm going to just real quick tell you guys each page. I designed this with a very specific meaning. But God has a vision far greater than my sight. Clearly, if you were here and heard any of this story, then you know this is literally what has happened since 2013. I did not know where Wilshire was going to take me. I certainly didn't know. Oh man, I didn't tell the story. It's fine. But about the first time I took a paint class and I painted this board so I could learn how to paint furniture so that I could do it for other people. And it was such a stretch to take that $100, $150 class. I didn't know. I didn't have a vision or the sight to know what was down the road, but God did. And he's had his hand in every step of this, even when I didn't really know that he did. So how you order, Kim, is there's a link right here or like pinned at the bottom, or you can type the word link and it should send you a Facebook message to your Facebook Messenger. It has all the 10-year anniversary stuff and the printable is there. So God has a vision far greater than my sight. That is very special to me, okay? On this page, you were created to make a difference. You were. And your story's not going to look like mine. Everybody's stories are different, and what your difference maker is different than my difference maker, but we were all put here and all created to make a difference. You are worthy. This is something that took me a long time, and I still struggle with feeling, why am I worthy of this? Like I said, why me? Why whatever? But but I've had some pivotal moments that have shown me that I am worthy, and we are all worthy, y'all. We are all worthy of his love, okay? Joy is my word for the page. It's joy and inspire. I hope to always spread joy and inspire you guys. So that was the meaning behind those. And then the third page is just for people that just want the cute faces with the greenery. So no real special meaning, but just another page and another option. So thank you guys for the support already on this. Thank you for everybody who does purchase this give back bundle. I would love to do this quarterly and create a bundle. Maybe we'll do Habitat for Humanity each time. Maybe I'll pick a different charity. I don't know what that's going to look like in the future, but I feel like this is something that has been laid on my heart for a while to do. And this was the perfect time, like I said, to do the first one, but I want to be able to pass on the blessings to others. So we've got that going on. We also have, I'm waiting on mine to come in because I ordered one. It should be here tomorrow, but a new t-shirt. So the printable bundle and this t-shirt are only available till the end of March, okay? March 31st. The t-shirt says created with a purpose. Again, kind of going along with you're created to make a difference, created with a purpose. Love it. Super cute. Comes in a V-neck and a short sleeve shirt. It's just a special limited release shirt that I designed just for the celebration of this week. I wanted everything that I do this week to have meaning behind it. And so you can get that t-shirt in the shop. It'll be available till the end of the month. And then last but not least, thank you, Deborah. Last but not least is a big gifting that we're doing. I'm going to be careful with my words, but if you go to that same link, you're going to see the printable, you're going to see the t-shirts. If you scroll down, you'll see the big gift away, okay? That gifting is an infinity frame with all five sign bundles, which each bundle has 6 signs. So what is that, 30 signs, okay? And a year membership to my printable club and a year membership to my decorating and creating community. So you can go and register, get signed up for that gifting at that same link. Please, y'all, enter. And it's super cool because the platform that I'm using for that, you can come back every day for like an extra entry. If you do certain things, like if you follow me on Instagram, you get 2 extra entries. You follow me on Facebook, you get 2 extra entries. But that gifting is a $600 value. One person who enters will get it. And if you're already in the printable club or DC, then we'll stop your payment and you'll be in for free for a year. So I'm excited to be able to bless somebody else in that way. And thank you guys. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm excited about it. So, and then on top of that, the only other real thing that's going on, and then I do want to kind of say something else and end on a little bit of a different note, but I'm going to be sharing, I already did today, I posted the picture of my sister and I back in 2013, but I'm going to be doing some throwbacks this week, y'all, because now that I have shared more of my story, it's going to make more sense to you. So I want to share some furniture pieces that I painted down back in the day, maybe a picture of another one of my booths that I had. I have been going through I did not say this earlier. I did yesterday, but not today. Back in 2013, 14, 15, when I started and was painting furniture, Tyler, as I said, was 2 years old. Parker was already in school, so he was in elementary school, so it was a little bit different. But Tyler, who is now 11, was my sidekick, y'all. I would paint when he would go down for a nap. I would paint when he was up from a nap if I had to, and he would be out in the garage with me. Scrolling through my camera roll, which had me in all the feels the other day, I found so many cute pictures of him. One of he was in his little undies in the garage working on a dresser. But I would like put him in the garage with me and give him a piece of scrap wood and a paintbrush and let him paint. And I wish I would have talked about this earlier because I know there's moms out there who are in this same phase of life. And I built that business with my sidekick, Tyler, right beside me. He would go with me to deliver furniture. He would, go with me to buy the wood for the Lazy Susans. I mean, he literally, which I think is why to this day, that child is so invested in Wilshire. And I know y'all don't see him as much anymore. He used to come live a lot and do jokes and stuff, which he did tell me the other day. If he was in the right mood, maybe he'll go live with me again soon. But he's getting older, more mature, the things that happen. but he's so invested. He's always wanting to know how many, of course, kids, they want to know how many followers do you have, which that's not as important to me as it is him, but he wants to know. But he was so tore up yesterday about me losing my page. And he's like, why would they do that to you? I mean, why would they do that? Like, he's still just so kind of invested in my whole family is. Parker is too, my oldest. But it was different because he was, like I said, he was in school, but Tyler was right there by my side. So I'm going to be sharing some pictures of him, a little collage I put together that's just really sweet, and just some old videos. I'm going to try and dig up my first live, which is going to be painful for me to watch, but y'all say you want to see it, so if I can find it and dig, I'll share it. I'm going to share funny things like the spider video, the chasing receipt video. I don't know, y'all. I'm going to find some old stuff to dig up. So that's kind of what's going to be going on the rest of the week. Anthony and I will be live tonight at 6:30 Central Time crafting with this printable bundle. Please, please come back and join us. He's only done it a couple times, gone live crafting with me, and it's hysterical. And he's not a crafter. He's very handy, but he didn't even know what Mod Podge was the last time. And when I said, now we're going to prepare our surfaces, like we're going to get our, he's like, what are our services? He thought I said prepare our services, and he's like, oh my gosh, we're preparing a service. What's happening? So anyways, it was hysterical. So I have no doubt. Today was kind of like a more serious, whatever live. Tonight, y'all, we're going to be laughing. We're going to be having fun. We're hopefully not going to shed tears, I don't think. The horse story. Oh, the hose story. I feel like that story might need to get told tonight, because there are people that don't know that. And they're like, what are you talking about? Redneck bathtub, whatever. That story might have to get told for anybody that's new tonight, because I, for your information, took a redneck bath last night after the stressful day I had, and Anthony and I literally were laughing so hard. I posted a picture of the hose in the bathtub to the DC, and I was like, if just keeping it real here, just continuing to be more vulnerable. But anyways, I'll share that story again. That's a real bugaboo for Anthony, right? It's a real bugaboo. So I'm super excited about that. Last but not least, y'all, after I go live tonight, I will be sharing on the page this week, like I said, stuff, business as usual. I'm going to be taking a little break from crafting and going live. We close on our house in 9 days. Are we at 10 days or 9 days? I don't know. I'm losing track. Very soon, next week. We close on our house. We move. We are packing. We are doing all the things right now. And I know y'all will understand and you don't care. I just feel the need to kind of tell you, but I want to focus on spending the last week in our current house, because it's going to be so dang bittersweet. Parker has a birthday coming up, which we're going to go ahead and celebrate this weekend, because his birthday is the day after we close, or he's going to get, he's going to get the shaft, because we have a lot going on. So we're going to celebrate that this weekend. There's just a lot going on, obviously. And, I'm going to miss y'all. I'm going to miss you very much. And I may pop on, something with the move, or, who knows where you might just see me pop in or whatever. But the plan is to actually take a couple weeks off, because when you have a not normal job like me, you don't get like vacation time where you can just tell your boss, like, I'm going to take off. And so I don't do it very often, and I'm always working. And even though, like I said, things will still be posted on the page, I'm not going anywhere. I'm taking a little bit of a step back to focus. And something that's really important to me is being in the moment with everything that's about to happen. Because as a content creator, my brain is constantly thinking of content, videos, pictures. Oh, this is a moment. This is a this and that. But I don't want our closing, our moving, and all of that to be all content. So I have a plan in place that I'm comfortable with, that will allow me to still share some pieces of that with you guys without my family feeling like I'm like, wait a minute, like I gotta record this, I gotta do this and that, because I want to be in the moment with all of this and truly just enjoy it and soak it up. So thank you, Jenny. Pocket video, yes, I'll reshare the Pocket Live for sure. That's another classic. So that's the plan. And we're just we're excited, and we're we're very happy that y'all are here with us for this journey and want to share, you know, as much as we feel comfortable doing or whatever. But we both Anthony and I both appreciate y'all and your love and support through all of this so much. You guys have been so awesome. Thank you. Yes, it's a full plate, but it's a good full plate, you know. So we feel very blessed and excited, y'all. I still don't think it feels real that next week, oh my gosh, next week, I'll be sleeping in my new house. Oh my gosh. Next week. Wow. That's awesome. That's really exciting. So anyways, y'all, okay, I'm going to go try and get a little work done and then take a little bit of a break before Anthony gets over here. He's going to bring me dinner before we go live because I don't got stuff to cook here at the townhouse. I bring my lunch every day, but I'm like, I ain't cooking dinner for you over here. So we didn't get to go out to dinner last night like I said we would because things got crazy with the Facebook stuff. So he's going to pick me up dinner. We're going to have dinner over here, and then we'll be live tonight. I can't wait to see you. Thank you guys for being here. If you end up watching on replay, please let me know that you were here. Comment, engage. Oh, Joy Jar. I'm so sorry. Listen, I'm going to pick 5 names for Joy Jar because Mackenzie had a dentist appointment and could not be on here the whole time. So we're just going to, I'm going to scroll and I'm going to pick 5 names. Okay. So dun, dun, dun. First name is Linda Kerr. Linda Kerr. Okay, I'll scroll back down, then scroll back up. Second name is Paula Crowder Shaw. See, what would I do without Mackenzie? I almost forgot about the Joy Jar, y'all. Okay. Third name is Tanya Middleton. Tanya Middleton. Okay, ready? We're gonna scroll. 1, 2, 3. Got 2 more. Dun, 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 dun. And Darla Gordon. Darla Gordon. You're going in the Joy Jar. Okay, why did I just sing? See, there I am again singing when I shouldn't be. Okay, ready? Dun, 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 dun. Last person for the Joy Jar is Westa Carlton. Westa. All right, congrats, Linda, Paula, Tanya, Darla, and Westa. We're gonna get you all up in the Joy Jar. So, I guess, no, we'll do Joy Jar again tonight. And then next week we will pick. So the Joy Jar is it has people from all throughout the month who have been selected to go into the Joy Jar. And at the end of the month, we will do a bigger gift and we will draw somebody. So that's next week. Don't know when that's going to happen because next week is crazy. Might be 1st of April, okay? Or maybe I'll have Kelly help me. I don't know, y'all. We'll figure it out. Well, we will get y'all. We'll get y'all taken care of for sure. For sure. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm scrolling back now. Yay. Yes. Congrats, ladies. All right, y'all. We got everybody. Look, we're filling up that jar this month for sure. For sure. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And see you tonight for some crafting fun. And I'm going to be crafting, well, I think both of us, with something that's super special to us. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You may have a guess, but it's going to be special for sure. So please come join us. Oh, Paula, hugs to you. I bet there's a lot of people that struggle with some of the same things. I know you and I are not alone. So hugs and prayers to you. Do it scared. And just, God loves you, all of you. So, all right. Bye, y'all. Have a good night or good day. See you tonight.